going to record this and I'll put it on YouTube so that you guys would have a way of learning, what it is that we need to watch out for. And I want to make sure. So the sharing I'm going to do is just my desktop. So Larry, your face is showing. Is that okay?
That's fine.
Okay. There. John. Okay.
So you don't have to put it on mine.
No, you're not there. You're not.
Yeah, I am.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't.
So just turn it.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, so the license type right now, this topic is about licensing for cannabis and how to answer the questions. Right? Is that the topic you guys want to talk about? So this whole program is Budtender certification program. So we are going to just be sharing information so people can find it more useful. So currently the license that it's going to be available from July 1st, that's when the industry licenses will be allowed, is either cultivation and craft marijuana cultivator license or dispensary license. Okay, there are two types of licenses, and these, in addition, we're going to break it down to further. Okay, and the cultivation craft license again is 4 tires. It depends on the square feet. Okay, if in case the depending on the size, and I'll go over, because the cultivation on the bottom, it says it is 0.25 per square feet for tire 4 licenses when it exceeds 10,000 square feet. So again, 4 and after the 4th tire is hit, 10,000 square feet. So for bigger industry, and under 1,000 square feet is tire 1, and between 5,000 is the next level, and then the 3rd level I will look into the details and I'll tell you when we go down, and then the 4th level is 10,000 and above, right? So those has an application fee first, which is non-refundable, and then an annual licensing fee. So there are 2 pieces to that. So the tire 1 is 100, and annual licensing fee is 1,000, and tire 2 is 250, annual licensing fee is 2,500, 3 is 400, and 4,000 for licensing, and then the last tire is 600 and 5,000 and more. Okay, and then the micro business is for delivery services, cultivation, and I think they have 3 categories under micro business. And those, or delivery, you need to have a certain regulation you need to meet in micro business. That's $300 for application fee, and for licensing for each subcategory, another 50% of that fee. Manufacturing fee is $300 with annual licensing fee of $5,000. Independent testing lab, if in case, let's say we are going to partner with ProVerde and we create a testing facility, you are business to business still, then you can do that. Retail, that is, if you have an open store, right, like a smoke shop type of a thing, where you do have a brick and mortar store, it is the same way, 300 and 5,000. Where you can also be a delivery only organization, and that regulation wants you to have 2 people riding in the car. So it's delivery is not like a regular delivery. You're mandated to have 2 people. 2 people. So you are forced to have 2 labor forces. Remember, automatically when you open that business, you are going to hire 1 more person. So you need to understand, what is it? And you can, in addition, have a retail store and have how pizza delivery is included. Instead, you can have a 3rd-party transporter. So, which is another very nice niche. Remember, you can become a 3rd-party transporter, like a Uber facility for these cannabis. So you can license that way. And existing licensing transportation is another license they are coming up with. I was thinking of doing research, but strictly research. You don't do anything to do with retail, so you are not making a lot of money. It's more about so it's more for people who are on the scientific field. That's another field we can think. Social consumption, which is primary use, which is the medical card you are using now. You can become a caregiver. Mixed use. You can become that's where the caregiver thing coming in. So it's a sliding scale.
Now I got a question. I have the card, and once I got approved, it said, "Am I a caregiver or?"
Right now, they don't have that because right now there is no ability to service everybody. So they have come up with a rule that if it is 15 miles away from a dispensary for now, you're considered that your need exceeds the availability, so you can automatically apply for caregivership. But that's going to be taken away by July 1st, I heard. July 1st, unless you have a license, you cannot be a caregiver. Until then, people are using, see, right now you can tack on yours and another adult in your home. So you're allowed to grow 6 in vegetative state, 6 in flower state, that's for you, and for another adult in the house. So you're allowed to service one more person. But that is going to be tougher after July 1st. That's why you need to really understand this primary consumption, the $300 versus $5,000. Right now, it allows you to grow because of you and your wife, 24 plants, right?
Yeah.
That's considered caregivership, right? But by July 1st, that's where the laws will force you to put away $300 for application fee, $5,000. So you need to be careful how you're going to apply that social consumption, because that's where the card detail will be having, because if you're going to service somebody you don't know, you would have to apply for that social consumption license.
What, the mixed use?
No, mixed use is commercial. Like, let's say you're allowed with a card to get 10 ounce, right? You don't even need to grow, but you can split and sell it. That would be mixed use, right? That is your personal, but let's say for primary use, you have a person who has a higher need and you want to grow your own, so you don't spend a lot of money. That will be social consumption, primary use. Let's say like some people have chronic illnesses like cancer or somebody in the family, and the amount you need to grow is going to be beneficial to you. Then you would apply for the primary use. Does it make sense to you what I'm talking? So you don't get it?
I'm a little lost with it.
So tell me what makes you not understand. What exactly you're not getting?
Can I interject? All right. So you're saying that the primary use, if you are using that for yourself and the person that's in the house.
Yeah, adult, yeah. So you are allowed to service one more person.
One more person within your house.
That's a caregivership, right? Like it's kind of like that's the name, but they changed the name to social consumption, right? Okay. Which is caregiver, right?
But anybody outside of the house.
Yes, that would be mixed use.
That would be the mixed use.
That's how we are operating this office, right? Like this is a mixed use, right? You are having personal usage space and we are going to lease. So if I'm going to do it that way, it's considered mixed use because I am using it a little bit for commercial, a little bit for personal, right?
Okay.
So that's why, I feel the terms you need to understand, and I might have to clarify more. I'm just saying that's what I'm reading into it. Maybe I'm wrong, but this is where it is tough for me to understand all the names. Mm-hmm. So the lingo is different. So let's keep going. And so
I just want to back up for 1 second. So the mixed use, it says sliding scale.
Yeah.
So you would have to pay the $300 application fee, or whatever that is, and then there's a sliding scale.
The sliding scale, I heard in the past the way they do it is let's say you are a nonprofit and you are servicing, right? And so according to your income, let's say you are under poverty level for the state. So your ability to pay annual fee is different from a person whose income scale is higher. Mm-hmm. And so that is already existent. Okay, right now they have I think necessity, people who are using it because they don't have any other means of paying for the medicine. Mm-hmm. They're growing it themselves. They have a different licensing structure right now. Like mass health patients get a waiver of $50, right? Mm-hmm. So similarly, in commercial purpose, you're going to have a sliding scale. So people who are doing it because they want to be a nonprofit, or people are doing it to help each other, they would have a lesser annual licensing fee versus people who are doing it commercially for profit.
How would they know what their sliding scale
So because
is?
they'll report it with tax. Every time you
okay.
have to report your tax, annual tax.
You would
So,
say how
yes,
you're using it.
yes.
Okay.
No, because they're going to pull your numbers. See, everything is going to be based on the business. So the regulation says you need to be a business in Massachusetts.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to report your income.
I already applied for the LLC.
Yeah. So you're going to report your income, and that's how they're going to get your numbers.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So now, these are like, originally if you applied, see, application fee for registered marijuana dispensary conversion shall be $450. The reason again is right now, whatever dispensary is operating automatically can become retail. You understand? Because there is no more dispensary after July 1st. You get it?
There's no dispensary.
Yeah, because by July 1st, it's recreation. So you don't need to be a dispensary. You are retail.
It's all going to be retail.
So all that will go back to that license on top. Do you get it?
So anybody could go into a retail shop and buy.
No.
Need a card.
No. You're not understanding. Already people who are dispensary, they paid the fee, $35,000 or whatever it is, and they are already in dispensary. They'll be automatically converted July 1st to retail.
So that means anybody.
Not anybody. The people who I think right now only 9 people are registered dispensary.
No, what I'm saying, anybody can go in to buy out of the
Yes.
retail.
Well, it's like a liquor store. You need to be an adult, which is like 21 years and above.
There's
You need-
requirements,
yes.
so anybody could go in.
Yes.
You won't need a card to go into
Yes.
the.
But it's going to be taxed. It's going to be
Yes.
a different price.
Yes.
Does it make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So let's say right now, like Patriot Care, right? They can change their name to say like, Best Green Shop or whatever.
Yeah.
So in future, if they want to change their name, they're going to pay $500 or $450. The licensee fee will be sum of cultivation, retail, manufacturing. So let's say they want to do retail. In addition, they want to cultivate themselves. They will apply for a cultivation license.
Mm-hmm.
So the dispensary would disappear, the word dispensary.
It would be a store.
Store.
Yes.
Retail store.
Retail
Yes.
Yeah.
So does it make sense
Mhm.
what I'm talking? So the total thing you need to understand is this is all the license available. 1 is cultivation craft. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That's all. If you understand this, you got it. So that's it. That's the gist of it. And because it's government issued, everything is laid out in paper. So you don't need to even guesswork.
All right.
Just
So
go
I
read.
get the dispensary is now going to be going to
Retail. So, but they can also simultaneously apply for, if by chance they are saying, okay, I want to be retail, but in addition, I want to grow. And in addition, I want to be a transporter. In addition, I want to see existing license. They already have a delivery license.
Mhm.
They would reapply for this.
So the person that is growing and the person that's getting, they no longer need a card, or they do need a card.
The card would only if you want the social consumption primary use or social consumption mixed use, you would need the card. So the last 2, you still need it because it's social. So you would need somebody who would evaluate you and give you the card so you will purchase. And the card, the advantage with the card is it allows you to hold a wholesale because you would do pre-tax. You see, it's like saying I go to a store and I want to buy something versus I want to go to a wholesale store and I want to buy, because then you applied for social consumption license.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to help my family. That is this wholesale. So that is only provided you want to get into it as a business, right? You personally to use, you don't need a card anymore.
Mm-hmm.
It's only if you want to use it at a higher quantity, then it's more profitable. Because are you going to pay $5,000 per year for something that you're going to use it yourself, it doesn't make sense, right? So if your revenue is going to be less than 5,000, why do you want to get a car?
So only if your revenue is over that
It better be
5,000.
over 5,000.
Yeah.
Bloody
So,
hell.
but
Because it
how
doesn't
many
make sense.
People are you? Well, it's primary use. It's only for yourselves.
No, it's social consumption. That is, you're only doing it as a cooperative, because what you do is you will stack your license. They're coming in as I think they used a where like it's almost like you're stacking your license, another license, another license. So because you are allowed a certain amount of land, the other person, another person, another person. So I think they are doing it differently. And I don't know the number of plants each person can go. See, that's why, like, I have to understand further.
Because that's what I was going to ask. My next question.
The regulation.
What's the regulation? For
only April 1st they're going to release. We don't have it.
Okay. And how many people can you be a caregiver for?
No, that's what I don't know enough. I don't know. I haven't read completely. The other thing is only by April 1st they're going to come out with like what are the application, what are the requirements and stuff, and they are drafting it still. So I don't even know what the verbiage is going to be, and I don't have enough information. And there is a question even whether July 1st would be allowed. They can even postpone it potentially. There is a chance it might not even become recreational. There is a potential, but I don't know. See, like the thing is, these are people discussing. So like I'm just telling you, like just because July 1st it's going to come out doesn't mean it's going to happen. It's a target they are reaching for.
So as of right now, the maximum amount that somebody can be a caregiver for in the state of Massachusetts
Until July 1st
is
because the caregiver term is going away.
Did they change it? What's
because you are not legally allowed to share your medicine with somebody after July 1st because it's a medicine.
Yeah.
So from July 1st, if you're going to be in a business of sharing, that's when the last two will apply.
That's when you have to apply for the license, you said?
No, that's when the last two will apply. Social consumption, mixed use, and primary use. The reason you need the card is what the doctors are checking is whether you're dangerous to use it. So essentially, like what we are trying to figure out is it better for you not to be in this business? Like it's like saying, see, in I don't know whether it's federally, but I know for sure if you are mentally ill, I cannot hire you to work under me. Like that's why I couldn't hire the guy with autism, right? So if that's the case, if you're disabled and you're mentally disabled, right? I cannot even allow you to operate it as a business. So for that, that's the reason each license type, you need to have a doctor on board who has given you clearance. Every license you apply, you need to have a team. You need to have a doctor on board.
Which is it, right?
Yeah, no, but like I'm saying, not just me. Like, I'm saying all the facility are going to eventually do this because you need to have a team because all these licenses has a lot of requirements. It's not as simple as you going and applying and saying I want to start it as a business. They have a big application process, and that process only by April 1st they're going to release. So I don't know enough about it, but this is what we have right now. This is released January. This whole thing came out in January, 107 pages. I haven't even read through this. I just briefly glimpsed. So this is $450 is for existing dispensers, so it doesn't even apply to us. So whatever license currently people hold, like farming license, right? Like people have farming license right now. So those are the facility that we applying for all this. So for them, it's these application fee. Change in building structure, let's say they're going to change it into a cultivation facility or ownership fee, all this will apply. Registration card holder fee, an application for registration card as an establishment agent, independent lab, or any other position has a non-refundable $50 fee. And renewal fee is another $50. This is like, you currently have a card holder. So this is like the same thing. And the fingerprinting and all is like, background check and all will happen. And the fines, all this penalty, blah, blah, blah. An administrative fine of $20,000 for any violations. And then establishment agents. So here it is, the regulations. So it would be applying for all the board members, directors, employees, executives, managers, volunteers. And the commission shall issue a marijuana establishment agent registration to each individual and must be 21 years old, not committed any offense. And then background information. So you need to, as soon as you dissolve the establishment, you need to let them know. And then denial of a card. So these are the reason. Failure to meet requirements, revocation or suspension of registration within 6 months. And then
You definitely don't want to fall in that category.
I
You
think
won't ever get it.
so. Any violations, any fraudulent use, any selling, distributing, giving to an unauthorized person. Now, this is where you need to be careful because right now, even though you have a card, you cannot share it. You understand? Selling, distributing, giving marijuana to any unauthorized person. So how do you know who is authorized to use? That's when the card comes in. You understand? So if you're going to share for social consumption, for mixed use, you need to make sure they have a card.
So they would have to show their card to you. They have.
If you're doing mixed, if it is commercial.
Mm-hmm.
If it is recreational, they need to go to the retail store and buy it. So they need to show their ID. So I don't know whether the same law applies for alcohol. Are you allowed to sell alcohol to anybody? No, right? You need to be a store, right?
You gotta be.
You have to have a You have
So
to have a
you
store.
can, you can, like, meaning like you can gift, like if it is family member, but you are not allowed to sell it to minors and stuff like that, right?
Right.
So same rules, like I think cannabis, I don't know how they're going to track it, but they
Oh,
cannot
so I couldn't actually
sell it.
like sell it to.
Yes.
Somebody-
If you're going to sell it, you
Yeah,
need to have
you
that
have to have
application
Yeah.
put in,
They have
and
to be
you
21
are
years
saying.
old. They
yeah.
have to have a card. They have to.
So you just, I don't know. See, the thing is, I'm not sure how the recreation whole thing is going to lay
Yeah.
out.
So that's
So-
what I'm trying to understand. The
No, that
difference.
hasn't even been shared until April 1st.
Mm.
So we don't. This itself came out like last
Yeah.
month, So like everything is coming out as we speak, and so you cannot use somebody else's card and other stuff. Leadership rating program. Wow, they have some sort of a hierarchy they're going to establish. Okay, local employment leader. They're going to do like some sort of a compliance leader, whatever it is. Okay, establishment, general requirement. Okay, you have to be registered to do business in Commonwealth as a domestic business corporation or another domestic business entity and maintain good corporation in good standing. So this is where I want to figure out from my tax person, can sole proprietor operate? I have to ask him. Let me call my tax guy.
Yeah, I don't.
And I want to ask him, like, because it says domestic entity. I'm gonna make a phone call to the tax person and I ask, and I'm gonna read it out and see whether what he can like tell me.
Determine for that.
And then you can only apply for 3 max license. I had a question. I'm doing a lesson. So as a tax person, tax guide. I want you to read. I'm going to read out what it says, and you tell me what you understand. Okay. A marijuana establishment is required to be registered to do business in the Commonwealth as a domestic business corporation or another domestic business entity in compliance with 935 CMR and to maintain the corporation in good standing with the Secretary of Commonwealth and the Department of Revenue. This is what it says. If you want, I can send you a Zoom link. Do you want to join us? Okay. So this being said, I remember you got me a good standing. So can it apply for sole proprietor businesses? Yes. Okay. So sole proprietor can be a business entity in Massachusetts then. Okay. Okay. Thank you. So you can do sole proprietor. So that makes it easy because then as a sole proprietor, you can, you can do sole proprietor or sole corp. Then you don't need to again license for LLC because
Why
LLC has
an LLC then? Why did they say that you needed the LLC?
No, people were reading. See, people were reading into it. That's why I'm saying LLC because they think there is a little bit of a limited liability. But what I find is do the sole proprietor first because your overhead is smaller, and then create a reputation for your business, get the good standing certificate, and then upgrade it after you figure out. Like for me, I want to do money service business, MSB. MSB has a very specific fee structure. Then I can do money service business, MSB. Then I can do investment club. So I can use investors, create a dividend income, and then use that to fund some of my projects. Then I don't need to do the LLC. The LLC, the way if I'm going to do LLC, I would do it two-tier. First, do the sole proprietor, go to homestead, get your home protected and your personal property protected. So then you don't need a LLC. LLC, the reason is you don't want your personal finance to be cited. That's all. Okay. Once you get your homestead, you don't even need a LLC because what do you have for assets? Nothing, right? It's only you who's your assets. You don't have a building. You don't have anything. Why are you going for LLC, which is $500 per month? Per year.
You have a house and stuff like that. Your cars, your stuff.
So you need to put it under homestead. See, homestead is a protection you can take, and you go to the Cambridge.
I was told that you could. For me, I was told a lot of stuff is not protected under that. It's
really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I don't know. I'd have to look.
Yeah. But anyway, I'm just saying, you can get the good standing in corporation certificate even for sole proprietor because I got it because they needed that to apply for. I forgot I was applying for something, and my town needed it, that certificate. So I gave it to them. So then, okay, so now we are going to read further. So each license, you can only hold 3 licenses. Remember how I said your dispensary can convert into retail? But you can only have 3 categories in that. Like, let's say I want to grow, I want to deliver, I want to dispense, right? So retail. So brick and mortar I can have a delivery model because which you need definitely. And then I can have a grow facility. So only 3 categories you can hold. So you can combine that and apply, but only max 3 categories. So that's why having an independent transportation license is very, very nice because then you can contract with people who don't want to essentially put their energy in delivery, and that can be your niche. Okay, delivery model will work too.
I don't mind. I wouldn't mind delivering.
Yeah, I know. Only thing is with delivery, you need to hire another guy.
Yeah.
Because you need to have a co-driver.
Delivery.
So you need to take that into account and your annual licensing fee and stuff. So let's go up, okay? So the cultivator license we're going, right? So the cultivator, tier 1 is 1,000 square feet and below. Like for me, if I'm going to rent out my space here, it's less than 200 or even 100 square feet, you could see. So it will still be tier 1. I need to apply for tier 1 cultivation. Okay, for clothes. Tier 2 is up to 5,000 square feet. Tier 3 is up to 10,000. 10,000 above is tier 4. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
So then craft is where they can grow the flower and stuff. Craft marijuana cultivator is the one that does the blooms. Like, they are creating their custom, flower. Marijuana production manufacturer is the trimming and that facility. Retailer is the one currently who's a dispensary, will be converted automatically to retailer. Okay, so now it'll be a storefront, delivery only, or you can have social consumption. So this one is where the caregiver part comes in. The number 3, marijuana social consumption establishment, would be the there you would go into primary use or mixed use, and then research facility and independent testing or transporter. So you can, this falls under this marijuana retailer, the transporter. Under it is its own class, marijuana transporter and micro business. And the marijuana establishment shall operate all activities only at the address registered with Commonwealth. Actually, it's very interesting. I went and applied to federal government for USDA permit to grow industrial hemp. And I didn't realize industrial hemp had very strict regulation and they declined it to me. But even before I submitted my application, they make you put in your longitude. So even before you submit your application, before the rejection, they track you. It's like, that's great. That's like amazing. Like, it's like you give it, it's like poker. You give out your hand before you lose. That's like double lose, right? I don't know who made this brilliant rule. And dumb people like me do this. So we get into trouble even before we start the trouble. I'm like thinking, if I had known they were going to reject me, I would have never even applied. It's scary. Right? I'm just surprised at the like, this is beyond words for me. Seriously, I cannot even fathom what is this. Can you believe this?
Well, they want to make sure that you're not going to go do it.
No, but
after they say no.
I know. But the thing is, right, they already, but thank God they asked me, because finally I figured out what is my latitude, longitude. I never even paid attention to those details before. Now I know where I sit. I don't want to say it in the YouTube. But so when any bomb falls on my head, I know, okay. they are targeting specific latitude, longitude. It's scary beyond belief. But anyway. But I'm going to hope there is some nice people also in this business. And my dad says, angels and fools are always protected. I know which one I fall into. Angels and fools are always protected, he says. And he says he doesn't want to disclose who I am. Anyway, so the cultivator, so they again mark what is cultivation, process and packaging and delivery and transfer. But remember, it is not the customers. So which means consumers. That means your business to business. Cultivation is B2B. You understand? So it's not retail. So you need to understand that. The cultivator may submit an application, and the initial submission is only after they release the documentation, which will be supposed to be in April. And when they release the initial, application process, somewhere in April, we'll be able to apply.
So you're saying business to business, cultivator. So
because you're not allowed to sell.
So you can only sell to another business.
No, not sell. You will be a supplier to either. No. The thing is, cultivator, you're growing. So you cannot, cardholder is a consumer. You cannot supply. So they have to go through the retail store.
So that would be the business to business. You're a cultivator and you're supplying to the retail store.
Yeah. If you're going to supply to a person, you need to apply for social consumption license. Do you understand that?
Mm-hmm.
Which is annual $5,000 fee.
So it would be like you're buying, say, clothing. You could make the clothing and sell it to a clothing store.
Yes.
But you can't sell on the street.
Yes.
Your clothing.
Or you cannot have like a consumer buying directly from you, because that makes the retail store fail. You understand? That's what actually nutraceutical company says. Don't sell it on Amazon because they feel they are short. So that's why biotics and all like make us write out a letter saying we are not going to sell it on Amazon. But people do it anyway. But,
right.
But by law, because these all, if you get caught, like, you're going to violate the law.
The law.
So you really want to understand what it is that you're going to get into trouble with, because people can plead ignorance, but like, you really have to understand that will take away your privilege to do this as a business.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Then a marijuana cultivator can change the tire. So let's say like, I have 1,000 square feet and then I want to upgrade. I want to go up to 5,000. You can change it. But to expand, it has sold 85% of its product consistently for 6 months, which is nice. So they want you to succeed. So they want you to apply for a lower license and keep showing profits. So if you're doing well, they allow you to expand. So it's not automatically granted, which is nice. So they're making sure you're going through the process. And the other thing I was told is, by chance, let's say you put in your application first to open up and you haven't delivered, you can lose your license immediately, because they have like a requirement to show that with the license you're doing well. So that's like another, I don't know where it's written, but like I heard, because there was another guy who went through this whole documentation and he shared with me what he learned. So what I'm sharing is some of the stuff he told me. He told me it's only LLC, so I believed him. That's why like I called my tax guy and he said no. And that makes it easier for me, because then I don't want to go apply for, because I already applied for S Corp from Nevada. That is because if I'm going to get involved with clones, I want to have a national corporation. In Massachusetts, I just want to keep it to clone cultivation license. So I haven't decided which way to go, whether to do research. Like, I haven't decided. So I'm going to like look into it. And he felt research is not a good area, but I like the research because it combines ability to test and ability to grow. And you are allowed to deliver.
Oh,
So
here's
3.
her sister. This is nice. She came with her sister.
Oh, nice. Come on in. Hey, how are you? Hey, you changed your hair color. We are doing a video recording of.
I have my sister with me.
Oh, good. Good. We can spread it out.
Over here.
Yeah, we have 2 more chairs. What I am doing is like, we are teaching people what are the licenses available. Hi, how are you? There is another chair. Yeah. You changed your hair color.
No, I bangs.
It looks dark.
Hi,
Hi. I'm recording this. This is on YouTube. So.
All right.
Yeah.
No, but you can share. Like, if you want to be on camera, I'll lower it. Do you want to be on camera?
No, I don't want to be famous.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Good.
So what we are trying to learn is what is the regulations now for cannabis industry. So because it's like a lot of verbiage, I find it very difficult to comprehend. So together we are discussing so that like, we can see how much we can get things done today. Like, so that when we post it on YouTube, like we can go at it like an ongoing process. The reason it came up is Dawn was asking, many people are coming and asking her, what is the expectation? What can I do, not do? And I told her, like, these are already laid out, and they came out with this regulation only in January of this year.
Yeah.
And so everything is new. So we are trying to figure out, like, what is available,
able to
where do you get it?
Yeah.
And for me, I'm just focusing on education.
Yeah.
So this allows me to just focus on what to do so we don't get into trouble. That's all.
Yeah.
My focus is
Yeah.
what not to do rather.
Yeah.
Did you see on the news that place, I think it was in Worcester, and it's kind of like a bar. But what it is you go in and you're able to smoke
Speaking of
cannabis with anybody. You know, it's a place to
Yes.
smoke cannabis. You go there,
Probably
they
gotta be 21 to get in there.
a
Right?
bar.
I don't know. It was on the news. but
Cafeteria? It's like a cat.
It was
It's like a
it was
bar,
kinda like
smoking
a
bar.
It
Smoking
is
bar.
like
Yeah.
a cigar bar.
No, like
But it's
for
a
marijuana.
But
So that's what the social consumption. That's
Wow.
social.
What is
it called?
Where am I? I was going to say hoochie.
You smoke different kinds and you know.
What is it called?
Hookah.
Hookah bar.
No,
But
but
you
this
made
wasn't
hookah.
hookah. It was like they had little pipes on the bar. I saw that.
Yeah.
The Worcester.
So they
when you
had
have
the
to be
pipes
21
there
to
that
get
you
in.
can use.
Yeah, but that's
Whatever,
where
but you bring your own pot.
so that's where the social consumption license is. So right now they are you can apply for a social consumption license, which is $300 application fee, and I think annual fee is $5,000 to hold that bar. And what they are saying is, if you're going to change your business type, each time you need to show within the last 6 months you have been profitable for more than 85% of the time.
Oh.
How is that
So-
profitable for them? I mean,
No, they can show what I'm saying is, let's say they have only like a 10 square feet area, okay, a booth, and they want to make it into 10,000 square feet, right? So you have to show that you have run this business for 6 months and you have been profitable. But like I'm saying, all this, I don't know how they would be judged, but this is what is written. So I'm just going over. So we went over. So we can go over so these are the licenses available. It's a cultivator license. It goes up to the square feet, like 10,000 above is tier 4, and then 5 to 10 is 3, 2, 1 to 5,000 is 2. And for us, all like little shops like us would be 1. And then craft is when they grow the flower. That's that's currently the manufacturers and stuff. Yes. And then manufacturer is high end, who do extraction labs and stuff. And then retailers or current dispensaries automatically will be converted into storefront, because from July 1st, they wouldn't be called dispensary. They'll be retailer. So they can have, the retailer can convert themselves into 3 subcategories, and they can combine the license, and they can do of those 3 licenses, storefront and delivery only retailer, and then they can become a cultivator, they can stack on 3 licenses.
What's the one in Hanover is the one that used to be that girl's spa?
Oh.
If it's a dispensary or
So here it says, see, marijuana social consumption establishment is
Yeah.
like the one you were talking about now.
that had the bar.
So it will be primary use and mixed use. For that, if you're doing it as a social consumption establishment, then the minimum fee is $35,000. If in case it's social consumption separate license, it's $18,000. So they have very different business model.
Yeah, different model.
But-
what would they do? What would the money be in that for somebody owning one of those?
Because you're selling an
You're gonna
ounce
charge-
for
you're gonna charge-
$160,
You're gonna
you're
charge somebody coming in?
It's like having
No,
a
it's
liquor
a-
store.
it's
but
like
you're
a-
selling
like
the
you're
selling
marijuana.
cafeteria. Cafeteria. Let's say, right, you're doing a restaurant, right? You have tons of marijuana. You want to also make money plus grow. It'll be a very nice business because each ounce you're going to sell, and if you call yourself a craft, you can say mine is a high end, organic. I'm going to double my price.
It seems that everybody that
Well,
is
you
trying
mix
to do anything with
See,
marijuana, though, they're having a hard time getting.
Yes, supplies.
Licensed.
And
So-
I don't understand that.
See,
because-
actually, in California, they had an interview with a cannapreneur. They call it entrepreneur in cannabis business, and he was like a consultant. They were asking what is the national average compared to what is in California now that it's recreational. He says national average sells for $300 per ounce, but in California, because it's right now retail, meaning recreational, he says it sells for, if it is organic, $160 versus $140. So their margin is very low. So you could see,
and she'll smoke there. They do
In
hits
California.
or what is it called? Flips or something? They
For what?
sit at a bar and they smoke.
Yeah.
A tube.
No,
I
it's
don't know.
like a connoisseur. They are probably testing it. Are they testers?
like almost like having
Yeah.
flutes of wine.
Oh,
Yeah.
you're
testing.
taste testing.
Yeah,
Oh,
dabbing.
Tester.
Dab.
No, dab is a specific way they extract. Like it's like a not a herb, but it's like concentrate.
Oil.
Yeah, and you need only like 1 pinch or not
Yeah.
even less than that.
Jeez.
So it's like very, very expensive, but at the same time, it gives them a higher amount. It's like having a high hit.
Yeah.
It's in a pipe, right? In a tube.
No, you can do
Oil?
pipe or you can, the thing is like, it depends on the preference, but technically they use it for vaping, if that's what you mean.
Yeah.
Okay, so now let's keep going. Okay, so these are the licenses, and marijuana social consumption establishment again would be primary mixed use, and then research facility, independent testing, transporter, or micro business. And then it says here, no, if you are a cultivator, you cannot sell it to consumers. You understand that, right? So it is be business to business, if you understand.
Mhm.
And then so you need to be careful how you're
So how much
using
is it for if you become a cultivator? What is it that you have to?
So the cultivator, depending on your square feet, like so you need to already.
Okay.
So when you become a cultivator, you need to show them, and here it says here, you need to have ability to operate only at the license, only authorized at the address registered with commission.
Mhm.
And that's what I was sharing with them. I applied for industrial hemp license. Okay, so I applied to United States Department of Agriculture
Mhm.
to import industrial hemp. They denied the industrial hemp. But whereas, he says if I don't import, I can grow it locally. Because I told him, what is it that one plant will have the same disease process so I can teach? He says no. Right now, by law, I cannot import even industrial hemp. If there is a word cannabis in the plant, because industrial hemp can be cannabis ruderalis or cannabis sativa, he says the minute it says cannabis, I am not lawfully allowed to import. And I said, it doesn't make sense. So he then afterwards, even before I applied for the license, he makes me give out my latitude, longitude, where I sit down. I'm like saying, oh my
That's
God.
what we were talking about, and you were saying they do drones.
But he declined it afterwards. So it's like he forced me to give out my detail.
So
And
they'll
then
be
disclose.
checking on you. Yeah.
So I wish he could have told me before. Now I
Yeah.
feel stupid,
Yeah.
like you made me give out something when
because they're going to be checking on you.
No, but that's not fair. It's
I
not
know.
fair. It's
isn't.
not if you're upfront telling me, please don't apply if you're
Mhm.
using industrial hemp. That would have been nicer.
Exactly.
Instead they make you go through this process and they make you give out this detail.
Yeah.
And then, you're coming out and saying and making fun of me. That's not fair. It's not being
What's
treated
hemp?
fair.
because it's
Hemp is like burlap and all they make
Yes.
is from hemp.
Yeah.
Because they use it for they actually have a very nice industry called hempcrete, which they are using it to make concrete. So you can build, because in other countries they use hemp to build the structures. You can make hut, you can make cop structures. Now hempcrete is a big industry. You can make fuel, biofuel.
Wow.
So and burlap, you can do drainage. There are so many other hemp clothes. So it is a big industry.
makeup.
And because the plant has the same disease process like industrial marijuana, I feel it would be good for me to teach with that.
Mhm.
But they are declining because the reason I want to apply for that license is I can import from, let's say, a country that grows colds, like Canada. I wanted to import to see whether that seed does differently versus the one that from India, just for research.
Yeah.
So then I would be able to understand, okay, did it have more weather tolerant hemp there, because we are seasonal, you know,
Yeah,
3 months,
yeah.
that's all I can grow. If I can grow a plant that become evergreen, then it makes sense to me. But because they're blocking, even at that level, it doesn't allow me to even go further, you know, like that's where I found it limiting. And they don't understand the reasoning, and they are like boxing everything in together as bad, you know, so that's what was frustrating for me. So then, so this one where you need to, anything you want to shift to move to the next level, you need to show profit for 6 months, which is nice. So they're making sure you're not failing and you're not going bankrupt, you know. So because many people in Colorado put a lot of money and still couldn't get license, you know, and then it doesn't grow, and then they lose, like, you know, I heard like some people lost like $70,000 in their greenhouse and stuff, because even small operation can lose a lot of money. So the craft cultivator here, it can be organized as limited liability, partnership, or other business structure. So that's why, because it has the word other business structure, so don't box yourself in until you know exactly what you want to do. You know, I feel just like they say, do the same structure, do 85% profit for the past 6 months, then upgrade. You know, don't buy into anything new. And the shareholders must be residents of Commonwealth of Massachusetts for 12 months. So you cannot be operating this from another state. And the craft authorizes to cultivate, obtain, manufacture, process, package, brand, and deliver, but not to consumers. You understand? So if you're going to do consumer, you have to be a retailer.
Yeah.
So if you're a retail, you can have additional craft license and retail license and delivery license. You can have 3. Craft are limited to 1 license, under which it can have up to 6 locations, or 3 locations for manufacturers, for cultivated 6 locations. So you can farm at 6 facilities, or you can have like extraction lab and other structures. Okay. And
How would they know what your six locations?
you need to give your latitude, longitude. I was saying.
Drones, Dawn, drones.
You're going to give it out before. That's why I'm saying.
Going to apply, so you need to know what you're doing before you do it.
Yeah, even for industrial hemp, I give out my details. So you're going to, even before they reject, you're going to give it out. You know, it's like, that's why I'm saying it's so silly. You know, like it's like, and this is state level. Can you believe the local level?
Oh.
I have to go get my zoning approved. It's going to be a nightmare. You know, it's like.
Oh, yeah.
To even go up and running, it's going to take forever.
Didn't you try doing some type of zoning here?
Yes.
Yeah. What?
Mine is a mixed commercial use. So the minute I said I want to operate a business, they came and took down my business sign. I said, what the heck? They told me I need to put a septic tank.
Oh, yeah.
And so I said, because my building was in 1910, so they said it's a very old building. And because of that, they said, because mine is sliding down, my septic tank had to be buried 30 feet under, it seems, because it becomes floating. Like when you have water, it floats.
Yes, it comes up,
So they had a business behind me, which had that problem. They end up spending $30,000 more. So because of that, the town, because we don't have the sewer system, so because of that, they made it a mandate for me. I have to even pass Title V to go further. So then I had to, so now that's why I felt all my money went down the toilet. Literally.
Yeah, really.
$80,000. There goes my business.
Slush.
So like saying, okay, maybe actually there is a new business I'm looking at, and I'm going to show you. I'll bring it up. It's called Flex Mod. And what I'm thinking is, can I outsmart them by doing this? Oh, actually, is it here?
Yeah.
No, I had the brochure. I think I should go here.
I told you about the fertilization products that Todd, like No, that's not.
No.
So I don't know whether they will allow this for me, but I want to see whether I can house this.
I'm sorry.
I'm saying
So this one is what I'm looking at. I'm thinking if they can allow me, I can do this on top of my septic tank, just so that like I can have the last laugh. But I don't know whether they would allow me. But I'm just saying, because
would
what
make sense.
happens
That
is
makes sense.
this would make it more profitable for me to just license
Well,
for just
Right.
housing it.
no,
It's a grow. It's a
modular.
grow.
No, it's just a model that I can keep it on top of my septic tank and lease it. People can come and just lease it to do their. So because physically it has to get a license in one location, and it would make sense for me to give my location and have people come and use that space and me charging rent. That would be much more profitable for me. So that's why I have to look into what, maybe we'll discuss offline later, what would be a good place. Like for me, I am looking for the veg mod, like I'll show you. And it's $28,000 for that model. And we can grow, and
how much is it?
28, but it comes with everything pre-built,
Nice.
lights and stuff. And see, this is an extraction model. And
So
What
they
does it do? What does it do? I don't say. You just put it on top to make it look nice because it's a.
no, it
Oh,
has
you
everything
go
pre-built.
inside.
I'm gonna show you.
Operating.
It's all.
It's all operational. So I'm gonna show you.
It'd be like a lab. right there.
Yeah, it's a pre-built lab.
Oh, I thought this went over the storage.
Yes.
traffic.
It does.
But what I'm saying is, I have the space. I'm not using it properly, and they come and build it on top because it's all modular. So-
Put it right on top of our toilet.
Yeah, and I'm
Well, she
thinking.
won't be able to. She has to access that.
No, because I would be because they will. It's a prefabricated, so they will build it on top. So you don't need to
Yes,
have.
But
yeah,
that pipe they have to access, right?
To
Yeah.
flush and
Flush.
no, that's only if you're doing extraction lab. I'm going to show you the veg mode, which
No,
I'm
I
looking
don't
at.
think she understands. You have to make sure you get to your septic to clean it out. It has to
Yeah,
be cleaned out
but-
every 2 years.
Yeah, I know, but the
Where
the
the
cap is
tank
only in
is?
the front.
Yeah, so
Okay.
that's good.
So we have
I
like a
have
lot of
something
space,
It's a
and
lot of,
Oh, okay.
what I feel is this will really make use of, because what am I
Space,
doing
yeah.
there? See, like the truck,
Nice.
so they can just drive it. I don't want to do it drivable, but like if I'm going to get involved, it'd be like housing it there. And what I want to do is first do. Let me show you. So this is the one I'm looking at.
So would you be able to be licensed for that?
That's what. So first, I'm gonna bring it
And
up.
what would it be considered, being a cultivator?
No,
Cultivator,
cultivator,
distributes
just
right?
to do clones. That's all. I want to do it as a clone nursery, but like under 1,000. So this is right. The model I'm looking at, $36,000.
Yeah.
So it has 2 racks, and it has everything pre-built. And so what I have on the back, I want to start off with only this part.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
If I can successfully finish that, I can upgrade it to $28,000. Then I can keep it there,
Mhm.
which will be all season.
Mm.
Then that would make more sense, because then I would have the license and people can lease that space,
Yeah.
because the physical location is bound.
Mm-hmm.
But I can give them everything. See,
Yeah,
build
'cause when you're
offsite, delivered to
successful.
your door. So
Yeah.
they just like it's a prefab. So
You
they
tell
will
them
like
what-
plug
you tell
it
them
in.
what you want.
Huh?
You basically tell them what you want.
Yes. And they actually come and put it together here.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't need to so they deliver it to you,
Yeah.
and you
And everything's included, the lights.
and the max
the heating.
you can go is $50,000. But I feel like let me start first with
Yeah.
just doing
Yeah.
one rack in the back,
Yeah,
this
yeah.
part,
Perfect.
Yeah.
and then upgrade it to the next level.
Right.
And
See how
even
it
that would be
does.
under
Yes.
1,000 tire. I'm not even changing my license requirement.
Yeah. Yeah.
And see whether I can just lease. I'm not even interested in growing, doing anything.
Yeah.
I'm going to have people rent out that space.
Mm.
So for that, I would have to understand how to do it. So
Yeah.
so that would be much more sensible approach, I feel. Where is my
So
text?
you've already bought the license for them to lease out the space too? Or do they have to buy their own separate license?
No, I hold the license.
You hold the cultivator license.
Yeah, cultivator license. And they, if by chance,
Work.
let's
They're
say
just growers.
they
Are they
are growers,
Yeah.
they can come and grow it here and they will lease the space from me.
Yes.
But I cannot transfer my license. So they need to have some sort of a method of using that product to get to next level. So they need to have some sort of a license.
Yeah, whether they're doing retail.
They might not
or-
have, see, because each
Yes.
person can only hold 3 licenses.
Mhm.
So let's say I have the ability to house this space, right? If they have a license that they don't want to have a location, but they can grow, they can give my location
Mhm.
and they
But
can use
can't
the
you,
space.
isn't it, you can only grow so many plants at one household or something
We
like that?
we don't know what the regulation is going to be by April 1st. Like, see, that's why I'm saying I don't know for 1,000 tire what exactly is the
Like 6
I
plants.
don't know.
Yeah, I
no,
thought it was-
that is for now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
it's
when
gonna
you do the
change.
cultivation license, I don't know for 1,000
Could be
square feet.
great.
There is a plant limit. I don't know.
So that would,
So-
wouldn't that
Alter
Kind
the effect
of even having that?
because
No,
if
you
it
have to-
changes and they
No,
say
the thing is, it looks like they don't care about the plant count versus the square feet you use. See, right now it is not according to the numbers. It looks according to the location and the space. So I don't know what is like normally, like they usually say 1 feet, right? You need to have each plant, like, isn't that how they grow?
Yeah.
So I don't know the grow model, like how efficient it's going to be.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
but the law. So if it changes,
In what is it, April?
April.
July 1st is when it goes recreational, but April 1st is they're going to entertain the applications. But even for that, they haven't put together a paperwork that says this is the thing you need to produce as evidence. So I think those are going to come soon. This paperwork, which was supposed to be 3 years ago, they're releasing it now, right? So, which is in January. So everything is like being rolled out, and I'm sure they're going to make changes, eventually.
Now, what about the people who do farms?
They already have farming license. Right
So
now,
would
right
you
now,
have to get a farming license, you think, for doing that?
the farming license goes by local zoning board. We had a meeting. There was a guy who's a contractor here. He went to the selectmen and they approved. So the farming is approved already, but they had come up with some regulations. So I need to figure out like what exactly the regulations are. So when I apply, I would be under that, but I have to go through the board of assessors still. They have to audit and release. So, but first I want to figure out what I want to do.
Yeah,
So
that's a good idea. I like
so
that
I
idea.
decided
I
I'm
really
not
like
going
that,
to
yeah.
grow.
Yeah.
I'm going to just lease
Yeah.
and
that
apply for that license. So
Yeah.
for that, I'm trying to figure out what is the license I apply for.
Yeah.
And also that's where I'm spending a little bit of time and energy.
I would think you'd be a
I can do either research license because if
Yeah.
research, you do get cultivation. So I just don't know. For me personally, I haven't figured it out. So let's keep going. And at some point, if you guys are getting bored, we can stop. If you think, okay, we are done enough, like we have gone through only 21 pages.
I know.
So
It is a lot. It
Yeah.
definitely is it's a lot to understand and wrap your head
Yes.
around, and they change it once you get it.
Wait, what's the delivery only retail?
delivery only is service that provides transfer of this product.
So somebody who
So-
leases
so
your
let's say-
place.
See, yeah. So let's say, right, somebody is farming and they need to go to the retail store. They need to have a license to transport.
Yeah.
So that is a delivery only
And
retailer.
that's all a two-person contract.
Yeah, but we haven't gone to that level yet. Like meaning, like in this is 107 pages. We are on the page 21.
Yeah.
So when we go
Yeah.
down further, but what I'm saying is, this is what we can talk on for next few weeks.
Yeah.
Because it will be very useful for us to understand this. And
Yes.
we need to be very proficient in it if we want to like create consultant, like, canapreneur consultant business if we are going to do. Because if we are going to teach this to others, we need to understand what we are dealing with. And for me, like, you can read into it too. So like there are lots of things I'm not really so I don't know. But at least, like, we have a starting place before we didn't even have this documentation.
Right.
So we have
I
something.
wonder if you could do some type of group with people who are already into like
Everybody's
each thing.
learning because see, the thing is,
This is
everybody is
about-
learning.
yeah.
It's it just
And
came
the
out.
application is huge. Like, I saw the application and it overwhelmed me. I was initially planning to apply. And it had like, I think 29 pages or something. And I said, you know what, I'm going to close it. Because
you're going through.
they are saying, first of all, to declare your team. Who's your team?
Yeah.
So because everybody who is going to be in your business has to be listed.
Mm-hmm.
So if by chance I haven't even understood who is it, I'm going to lease it out too.
Exactly.
I'm way ahead of myself. So like, I really need to understand,
Yeah.
would I be approved? So I feel it is like not as easy as it looks.
Exactly.
It's a lot of time.
Yeah.
Like, you need to spend. So this is all I'm going to focus on to understand, like, what exactly am I looking into? And I know that's the reason I like to do it as a group because everybody thinks differently.
Right. Well, I think like Christina had a point. I think doing a YouTube video and welcoming people in on a discussion for Dr. Cool and asking questions in a forum like this, because not everybody has their own interpretation of what this means. And I think it's good to have a educational seminar just for a lot of people to kind of go to and talk about this.
So
This
one
isn't
thing,
talked about. Not a lot of people understand or even get to this.
One thing we can do is after this YouTube video, we'll have questionnaires from public or whoever is watching. And next session, we'll just focus on answering those questions because then we can build on it. Because I feel we are going to lose people if we keep talking and not really helping
Have
them.
any answers.
Because like I was talking about social consumption and he said he still didn't get it, right? Because it is tough to understand the grasp of. So what I am saying is don't even box yourself into a category until you understand everything.
Yeah.
Because you might think you're only caregiver, but maybe you can be a delivery. So you're by boxing in, you're having a closed mind approach, and maybe you don't even need to grow. Maybe there is a niche you can get involved in, which is much, much easier. Like for me, I'm saying if I just focus on leasing, then through others I can learn, before even jumping in,
Right.
because a lot of energy in growing, like I don't have time to water every day. Even my regular plant I kill.
Well, you gotta say,
It's okay.
what kind of medicine?
I almost put my water in it.
She would.
I would.
She don't mean it.
It's all right.
No, you know what? Actually, I went to Lowe's. It was dying, and they put it for $1 for sale.
Yeah.
And I saw many other plants were dying. I said, "Hey, I'll buy it for $1. Can you give all this to me free?" He said, "Spend 5 cents on those, some 10 cents, and that I'll give you for $1." So I bought everything for like $2.05.
And you're killing it.
Every one of them.
No, that's the way
They're not
they came.
dead. They're gonna be dead now.
No, actually, that's the same way they came. The green ones in the middle, I have to trim them so the dead ones are taken off. I haven't done it because I want to see. I want to see like how much is going to come alive. Yeah, I actually put the whole bucket with water, the one on the bottom.
Yeah.
So it all soaked up. So it looks like it was thirsty. So,
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, she takes care of them.
Can we stop it here? What do you think? You guys are good, or you want to discuss further, or shall we stop it? Yeah, I think I cannot digest anymore. Okay, guys.